The focus really is on supporting builders and creating an environment that offers the max opportunities so that folks can make the most of the opportunity to build in the Web3 space. Yeah, I ended up working for about 10 years before starting MONAD, which I feel is very lucky to have. That's like the perfect amount of experience to have a little bit of life experience, a little bit of experience in a bigger company, like figuring out what things work and what doesn't.
Okay. Gmonad, Keone.
Gmonad.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
I really value your time, and I know how this kind of conferences you can't even drink a coffee without somebody asking you something.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All good, yeah.
Before we dive into the discussion, I want to know, is it Gmonad or Gmonad?
You can say either. I actually initially said Gmonad and now I say Gmonad. So yeah, who knows?
So it's either way.
Either way. Yep.
I always like to start from the start because I want to know the person that I'm talking with, because the team is actually the foundation of the foundation right now. So here I am today with the co-founder of the MONAD Foundation, with Keone. And I want to know, I know you and James worked at Jump, but I want to know a little bit from the behind the scenes. What did you do before crypto? How did you end up in this rabbit hole? How did you end up working at Jump and in the end founding with Eunice and James MONAD?
Yeah, I ended up working for about 10 years before starting MONAD, which I feel is very lucky to have. That's like the perfect amount of experience to have a little bit of life experience, a little bit of experience in a bigger company, like figuring out what things work and what doesn't. Started my career immediately in high frequency trading at a big company called GetGo, which was first mover in the HFT space. Spent about 2 years there and then joined Jump in 2013 and ended up meeting James at the very end of 2013. I think it was right before Christmas. He came in for an interview. It's kind of funny. He came in late due to some traffic issues and then had to leave early to catch a flight. So we just had a little bit of time together, but it was very clear that he was extremely smart, and our team ended up hiring him, and then he joined early 2014. And then I worked with James basically that entire time from 2014 until very beginning of 2022. And when you work with someone for a long time, you build a lot of trust and get to know how each other works together. And yeah, I trust him a lot. He's extremely knowledgeable about systems, has really good instincts, and he's very loyal as well. So that was how James and I started working together. And then Eunice I've known since 2009 at MIT. We both were there around the same time. And she's super smart, really organized, very thoughtful, has really good intuition about people. And that's really helped us build a really strong team with really strong culture. The three of us started in 2022. James and I decided to leave Jump, and then immediately started working with Eunice, and just have been chipping away at things for the past couple of years.
Why did you feel at that point in time there is a need for a new layer 1, fast layer 1 EVM compatible 10,000 transactions per second?
Yeah, I mean, the crypto space is still very nascent. There's very limited adoption. The systems don't scale right now, and in particular, the EVM is really slow right now. And that was pretty much equally true when we started MONAD in 2022 as it is now. Ethereum was processing about 10 TPS. There were a couple of rollups. Everyone was nudging in the direction of build a rollup. It's going to be a lot easier for your team if you build as a rollup. But we were really motivated by addressing all the problems in crypto scaling, both execution and consensus, and tackling all the bottlenecks and building an end-to-end system that would work. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the systems are still very immature. There's a lot of opportunities for improvements, both at the database layer, at the execution layer, and at the consensus layer that's keeping all these nodes in sync. And over the past couple of years, we've ended up developing new architectures, new software architectures to address all those bottlenecks.
Yeah, and I know that you care a lot about decentralization, and you actually think it's not utopic to build decentralized systems that are actually fast. And for the folks out there that don't know what MONAD is, what exactly is MONAD?
Yeah, MONAD is a new EVM layer 1 that introduces parallel execution, a new database, a new consensus mechanism, and a new way that consensus and execution work together, which we call asynchronous execution. And we stack all of these improvements on top of each other like Lego bricks to produce an end-to-end result that's extremely performant. I said Lego bricks, but I probably should have said coupons, because when you have a coupon that gives you 50% off, and you can stack that with another one that gives you 40% off, then you end up with like 0.6 times 0.5 is 0.3, 70% off. And do that several times, you end up with a really much faster system. MONAD's a new EVM layer 1. As you mentioned, decentralization is really the priority. For us, that means two separate things. The first is that nodes should be really reasonable to run a node. It should not be expensive. We want performance improvements through software rather than through hardware. And so in particular, the MONAD node requirements are super reasonable. 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD, a reasonable CPU, and 100 megabits of bandwidth. So these are very intentionally chosen constraints, and we have to design software. We've had to design software that fits within those constraints so that anyone should be able to run a node. The second thing to point out is that MONAD values decentralization in terms of the size of the network, the number of nodes that can participate in consensus. And that's required building a new consensus mechanism, as well as new algorithms for propagating blocks. So pushing blocks out from one leader out to the rest of the world, to all the other nodes. We've had to come up with a new algorithm called RaptorCast in order to very efficiently push that block out securely in a Byzantine fault tolerant manner, while also not relying on a huge amount of bandwidth.
Yeah, and I know from Silvio, who is your senior DevOps, that you guys actually hired DevOps from all around the world and all around the time zones, so they can keep the nodes decentralized and they can work full time all around 24/7 around the globe.
Yeah, that's right. The MONAD testnet has been live for about 2 months, and it features nodes all around the world. We have seen a recent trend where new blockchains are coming up, and
they launch their own centralized nodes.
Yeah, sort of like putting all the nodes in one data center and calling that a decentralized system. And it's really not decentralized when the entire system is actually within one data center and is exploiting the proximity of the nodes to each other to deliver a fast result. We want to have performance plus decentralization.
Yeah, but right now, as you said, the testnet is live. The vibes are immaculate. You have tons of applications that are deployed on testnet that are working very smooth. Tell me, what kind of applications are perfect for the MONAD ecosystem? Who is the perfect builder that should come and build on MONAD?
Yeah, MONAD is really an extension of the original Ethereum goal of having a incredibly neutral, censorship-resistant mesh network that is fully distributed and that can be the base layer for potentially all financial settlement and all commercial activity. We know from the past 10 years of experience that Ethereum cannot support that right now, although there are a lot of valiant efforts to address these scaling issues. But MONAD is really a base layer that's fully decentralized. You can build any kind of application on top of to take advantage of the inherent payment rails coming from people being able to make payments to each other with assets that are fully on chain. So what we've seen in the testnet is a mix of applications across many different verticals, whether that's AI, consumer, DePIN, DeFi, gaming, or NFTs or payments. And I think at the end of the day, MONAD is really a general purpose blockchain that delivers 1 billion transactions per day of throughput and counting to be able to support many different kinds of applications all in one shared global state.
I mean, I feel like we talked about how important is speed, decentralization, and having good apps building on top of MONAD. But for me, and I think for a lot of folks out there, the vibes that MONAD gave and the brand that they created is very important. You have MONAD, you have Gmonad, you have these cult vibes that people are looking for to be integrated into an ecosystem and not just for, I don't know, let's make money or some kind of other mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, the reason that crypto has been successful is the community. With every successful crypto project, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or others, they've really, the reason that any such cryptocurrency has been able to penetrate existing markets and disintermediate existing counterparties is from the strength of the reputation of the system, which comes from the community. So the MONAD community is incredibly strong. In my opinion, one of the absolute strongest communities in crypto, which is insane because MONAD is still pre-mainnet, and there's incredible artists, incredibly creative folks in the community that are building really deep lore, building really deep relationships, flying around the world to meet up with each other at local hangouts. So it's just, there's so much going on, and the community really has put MONAD in this position to be successful.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the vibes are immaculate. I won't ask you when mainnet because I think it's a dumb question right now. But I will ask you, where do you think MONAD is gonna be like in 5 years? Because crypto is still very young, still a lot of experience. Where do you think MONAD is gonna be at that point in time?
Yeah, I think the MONAD will just keep growing. Hopefully the ecosystem will be very vibrant in terms of the diversity of successful applications that are generating revenue and finding a ton of success building on-chain. At the end of the day, MONAD is a technology project that is there to introduce new technology to enable builders to reach critical adoption and escape velocity. So it's just what I see in 5 years is a thriving on-chain economy that is enabled by this level of scale and decentralization.
And right now, what do you feel about the market?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
Because I feel like the crypto market doesn't respect the whole 4-year cycle. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and you have to build, the builders have to build on top of one, and you have to deliver because you have a duty for the investors, for the community. How do you stay resilient? How do you stay grounded in these kind of markets?
Yeah, well, for me, it's about knowing the future, knowing what's coming. The engineers on that are behind the effort have built something incredible, and having seen it firsthand and having tested a lot and built many applications, I know what's coming. So I have extreme faith in the capability of the technology relative to what has come before, and I also have extreme faith from just the strength of the community and the support that so many individuals have shown for the project. So I have worries at all. I sleep well, but there's just so much to do. I think if anything, it's just, the feeling of, there's so much potential, there's so much excitement, and I just want to be everywhere at once.
Yeah, and we both know that the actual work starts after TGE, because everybody's going to judge you about the price action, and the price action doesn't really depend on you because you build a technology, so it depends a lot on the markets. I think that is tough, but at the end of the day, when you know we are building something strong, you have no issue, right?
For sure, yeah. The focus really is on supporting builders and creating an environment that offers the max opportunities so that folks can make the most of the opportunity to build in the Web3 space.
If I'm a builder, where can I reach out for advice or for documents to start building on the testnet, and maybe why not on the mainnet when it comes?
Yeah, you can feel free to DM me on Twitter, or DM anyone on our team at the MONAD Foundation on Twitter, and we'll be happy to field questions and put you in the right touch with the right person. You can also join the MONAD Dev Discord. It's linked from the MONAD Monad_XYZ Twitter account. And yeah, I think our goal is to really elevate the space of builders with scalable resources, as well as by just helping however we can. Just a couple of things to mention. We've recently rolled out support for Privy, Dynamic, and Turnkey for all builders, so that they can build with best-in-class wallet as a service, embedded wallet providers for free on MONAD Testnet. We have an initiative called MONAD Madness, where builders can showcase what they built in front of a panel of esteemed VC judges and compete for prizes. And get a lot of visibility for their projects.
Exactly.
We also have MONAD Shark Tank, which is every week in the MONAD community Discord, where builders can showcase what they've built and get a ton of feedback from the community. The community acts as kind of the Shark Tank judges, and a lot of other initiatives that are here to help support builders.
Basically, the community could be the first judges, and then you go to MONAD Madness, and you have actual VCs that judge you. That is the step two, the advanced one.
Yep.
Before we wrap this up, because we have a lot on your plate, Keone, and thank you very much for everything. I want to know, what kind of advice can you give up to people just starting out in crypto, or they want to start building on MONAD right now?
Yeah, I think that the most important thing is, when you're starting out, it can seem intimidating because there's a lot of established figures that seem like to have a big following or a big reputation. But at the end of the day, it's still a very nascent space, and the incumbents are honestly not all that smart. They're not all that, if you think from first principles and look for real problems that need solving and come up with novel solutions, the other folks in the space that are really thoughtful and smart will be excited and will have your back. So I think that, it's just this, I guess what they say is that the learning curve is very steep. But, also keep in mind that, starting out and having a clean reputation and doing things in an ethical way, and, always making what you think is the right decision for your community and for the space in general puts you way ahead. So just don't underestimate the value of being thoughtful, solving real problems, and
being a leader to your community.
Exactly.
And I think it's, at the end of the day, it's very important to have new people in the space, because as you've seen, we go to these conferences, there are not a lot of us. We still need a lot of men and women out there that could build strong products.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't have any more thoughts to share for the community, we can wrap this up, Keone.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think, thank you for having me. I'm excited about the future. There's just so much to do. There's so much to build.
Exactly. Thank you for this, Keone. Have a
Thank
great
you.
one.
All right, thanks.